Also joining us this morning, former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Bill Richardson, who has visited China several times. Good to have you with us this morning. Also, of course, former governor of New Mexico. When you look at what happened yesterday, it seems the headline here is, as we heard in Bill's piece, President Hu saying, and I'm quoting here, "A lot still needs to be done in China in terms of human rights." How sincere is that, and how much do you expect to see as a follow-up in practice?
Well, that is significant because in the past, China has basically said that human rights is an internal affair. And I think for President Obama to get the Chinese leader to say that universal human rights are important, that China needs to do more, is significant. The issues are, for instance, China's refusal to talk to the Dalai Lama on the Tibetan issue, the imprisonment of Chinese Nobel Prize winner, also issues relating to treatment of its own citizens. So it is significant that the president was able to get that statement out, but now it's going to be deeds and not just words.
And we do know that there are news reports that this press conference was in fact blacked out in China, so it'll be interesting to know how many people in China actually heard that statement. When you look at the visit itself, there has been much talk about the fact that this was an official state visit. There was a state dinner in President Hu's honor. That pomp and circumstance goes a long way for the Chinese leader. Why is it so important?
It's very important because China considers form and substance and protocol extremely important. And 5 years ago, the president of China with President Bush got just a private lunch. And this shows the importance for the Chinese audience of the relationship. Look, the reality is China and the U.S. are the lone superpowers. We're not buddies nor we're foes. We're strategic competitors that need to learn to live with each other. And these, I think, shows of not just political congeniality, but also pomp and circumstance and treating them with respect, letting the Chinese show their people that they're a superpower is very important. So state dinners are very important symbolically.
So it goes a long way symbolically, but putting human rights and diplomacy aside for a second, we can't forget that much of this relationship comes down to money and to the economy. This is about jobs here in the U.S. This is about opening up markets. Was this, or has this visit thus far been, a net win for the U.S.?
I believe it is a net win for the U.S., for the president. He shows that he's tough, protecting American jobs. We make some announcements of some purchases of Boeing airplanes. That's very important. We want to penetrate the Chinese markets. We want to sell them airplanes, renewable energy, transportation. We want them also, Erica, to reevaluate their currency. In other words, lower their currency, because what's happened is by devaluing their currency, the Chinese are able to give enormous advantages to their products, to their goods around the world, undercutting American products. We also want the Chinese to give us access to what is called intellectual property rights, because they pirate a lot of our movies. For instance, True Grit, probably a major American film made in New Mexico, is DVD falsely throughout China. These are steps that China needs to give access to American business, but also has to take steps to allow American businesses to enter into procurement and government contracts there, which they don't do. China is very protectionist of its own industry.
So a step in the right direction, but as you pointed out, there's still much work to be done. Governor Bill Richardson,
yes.
Appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.